Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to today's exciting reading event. My name is Dominique Grate, and I serve as the nonfiction editor here at Doors Ajar Literary Magazine. We're just super excited to be able to have some of the authors from our latest issue being able to read their own pieces. I truly do believe there's something special about reading good pieces of literature, but it's even more special when you get to hear it from the authors themselves. So at this time, we're going to kick it off, and we'll hear first from Gail, Peter, and then Robin. Gail, take it away.
Thank you so much, Maxwell and Dominique. I am thrilled to be part of this event. Thanks to everyone for joining. I have two pieces, as you mentioned. I'm Gail Tirone. I have two pieces in the fall 2025 issue of Door is Ajar, and I'd like to read one poem called My Lingua Franca. My immigrant grandmother used a feather duster to banish dust and ghosts. From her small kitchen, she navigated this city, this country, a strong domestic force, stirring, always stirring, stories and tomato sauce ladled on semolina bread. Her broken English was my childhood norm, a melodious silver lattice inlaid on my child's brain and ear. Her voice, our lingua franca, our patois. They tell me, as a child, I spoke like her. On St. Lucia's birthday, she boiled ancient grain and fed it to me for vision and wisdom. She was my retreat, her house, my refuge, my humble nirvana, blooming with shade and space to be and wonder and become. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominique, and thank you, Maxwell. And it's a real pleasure to read here for this special 10-year anniversary for Door is Ajar, this wonderful edition. I've also got two poems included in this edition, and I asked my wife which one I should read. I read them both to her, and she chose the one which I wrote for her. Surprise, surprise. The one I wrote for her is called Love is Toasting with Good Wine. Love is toasting with good wine. You are the rouse in the speech, the note that lingers as the ghost of flavor. You are the wash of life with the next mouthful, the tannins that stick to the tongue, the glass half empty before the toast is raised. Cheers. Thanks, everyone. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Dominic and Maxwell. I'm going to read my nonfiction piece called Funk, which is a very personal piece. February, a Tuesday, an icy sheen, a sled. Watch me, mummy. Down the nearest slope, only a short way, then momentum. What a terrible word. My 4-year-old flies, clearing the hill, over the driveway, and down, 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 gaining speed. Jump off, screaming, never such a scream in the air. Roll off, shouting her name, but the wind steals it away. Beside me, husband, as I've never heard him. Older brother, mute behind us. How could I let this happen? Distracted by a second miscarriage, not thinking of the collaboration of ice and hill, not thinking of dangers in our own front yard, only focused on whether to try again. Greedy. And still she flies, faster, faster. The trees pull her closer. I can't get to her. I can't save her. I can't do the only thing that matters. I can only yell, but she isn't coming off that sled. Only 4 years old, my heart, my soul, careening to trees too spindly to matter. They can't really hurt her, can they? The previous Friday, a snow day, no school. What should I do with them? Them all? husband asked for suggestions to manage 4 and 6. Yeah, they'll like that. The pet store, Dollarama, get donuts at Tim Hortons. Going out the door to work, no snow day for me. Oh, and they need sledding helmets, if you see them. $40 each. Ridiculous. He couldn't reach me at work to ask if he should get them. What would I have said? And now watching her cascade towards rigid, stubborn objects that won't get out of the way no matter how much I beg. Why do trees grow at the bottom of the hill? Why don't they mind their own business farther on? Why didn't we cut them all down? Still on the sled, still gaining speed. Roll off. Why won't she roll off? The hill seems miles long. Our pleas stop just before the trees reach out and snatch her. Her tiny body ricochets, wrapping around their grotesque trunks. The impact coasts up the hill to mock our futility. Thunk. I watched my daughter die. I will never forget. This moment will replay all my life, a before and after. What could have been if only I hadn't been so careless. Plodding down the hill, the icy layer that whisked her to her death mocks us as we sink to our knees with each step. Moving faster than snow allows, I trip and fall headfirst into the crust. Stupid, stupid feet. How did this happen? Too focused on myself, on the future. A baby that won't be born. An estimated due date that will be just another day. A tiebreaker. 1 boy, 1 girl. And what would be the third? Now my daughter will no longer exist because I didn't focus on the babies I already have. Crunching of snow as we break through. Icy bits fall into my socks, burning. Bile boils at the back of my throat. But there's no space yet for tears. Thunk. Faster, go faster. My baby is all alone in the woods. Her brain will be bleeding, seeping crimson into the snow. I know this. When we get to her, she'll be motionless, never to open her eyes again, never to wrap her arms around me, never to fall asleep, holding my hand, encircled by red-soaked snow and evil trees, an offering of my incompetence to the forest. It takes 1,000,000 years to get to her. It will take 1,000,000 more for me to breathe again. What will I do without her? There will be no future. Thunk. A thought, a flash. I won't be able to kill myself because I have another child. Impossible. The future will be impossible. Why did I say they could go sledding? 1 unborn child's death will lead to the death of my daughter. Why couldn't I be satisfied with what I had? We fall to our knees beside her. She is still, and her eyes shut. Is she? Please don't be dead. I'm so sorry, my darling, for not watching you, for not keeping you safe, for being such a horrible mother. I'll regret this day forever. Her chest rises. Oh God. I take her in my arms. I shouldn't. Something about head injuries. The helmet comes off. Oh, blessed snow day with its trip to the mall. $40? Are you kidding me? You could have waited and found cheaper ones. But husband thinks differently. Might as well buy them now instead of wasting time looking for cheaper ones. It's a safety thing. And how much is our time worth? How much is time worth? 4 years. That's all I've had with her. 4 years, $40, $10 per year. Her eyes open and she screams, the most wonderful sound in the universe. Why am I here? Don't move someone with a head injury unless paramedics can't get down here. We take turns carrying her up the hill, call 911, shouting what to tell them. It will take at least 20 minutes to reach us on our house on a hill in the country. We lay her on the sofa, remove her boots and undo her coat, but leave everything else. She is talking. Incredible, because I just watched her die. Over and over again, she hits the trees. Thunk. What if she has internal bleeding and starts to have a seizure? She's moving her legs and arms. She's talking normally. She is still her. The paramedics arrive, cut off her snow pants, check her over. A tiny neck brace now keeps her safe. I go with her in the ambulance. Professionals taking care of her now. The helmet comes with us. Pink Minnie Mouse, ears sticking out next to a tree-sized dent. At the hospital, she is lowered on the stretcher. That was so much fun. And now I know everything is going to be okay. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Thank you.
Now we'll hear from our editor-in-chief, Max, who will talk about submissions and how you can get involved here at the magazine. Max?
Thank you, Dominique. Well, we are here tonight primarily to celebrate our latest issue of Doors Ajar Literary Magazine. That is this bad boy right here, issue 36. This is our 10-year anniversary issue. We started this way back in 2015 as a twice-a-year digital publication. Our first one came out in September, so this is 10 years right now, what we're all experiencing. Absolutely incredible. Saying we wouldn't be here without all of you submitting your work to us, letting us read wonderful stories and poems and plays and just incredible artwork. We have our full submission guidelines on our website. Our submissions are always open. I'm going to include a link to order the fall issue in the chat, as well as the link to the submission guidelines, or if you're watching this in the future on YouTube, it's down in the description below. And with that, I'm going to throw things back to Dominique.
Thank you so much, Max. Now we'll hear some other great pieces from Richard, Lillian, then Elizabeth. Richard, take it away. Not seeing Richard at the moment, but we can circle back to him. Lillian, you're up.
Hello. Thank you all for being here and for having me. I'm going to be reading my poem Craving from the issue. I crave the taste of peppermint, but only the kind they gave us during map testing in the 4th grade when I first became aware of hunger. The dollar store strawberry lip gloss she wore in middle school, but I know the taste of, even though I've never worn makeup. And some fruity drink I would never buy, but would be happy to hold and take a sip of while she danced. Thank you.
I'm going to read you a poem. It's on page 90. It's a sonnet. I don't usually write in forms, but this is one. It's dedicated to 2 friends and former counselors, for Larry Costello and Yvonne Van Court. The title is In This Porous Light. You want to meet us simply here and now, to stand on your own side of where we've been. The lines marked off between us as we bow out of your life, and yet the line seems thin. The times you looked at us with something real, they're still in you. Why should you be so glad to go and put them on an empty wheel, to play back mad, bad, sad, discredited? The times you moved around us like a moon, with silence all around you when you spoke. This morning, cold and roseate, loosened doors, lit ceilings. No, you will not choke on love, on fear, within this light, these wells, as we draw closer and you turn from death. Thank you.
All right. This poem, which was featured in the issue in question, is titled Garment. After Leonard Cohen. Describe the mouth of light, the cracked vase. I've always thought of you as a weary villain, you and all those fabric-voiced girls. I never find music clawing the air, clawing the street, the miserable ashtray rapture, the sacrilegious beauty in the profane. I tell my mother about the Chelsea Hotel. She wraps Janis Joplin in yearbook paper. I blow the years like incense. My therapist once told me I lacked sexual maturity. She wrote it in epistolary letters on my fingertip, and I swallowed them spitefully. You know the way. I'm growing younger with the Holy Ghost. I'm found wrapped around that bird in the morning, no lovers in sight, but your dark solemnity, the notion that words enter the nose and coat the tongue before leaving. Thank you.
Now we'll hear from Max, who will tell us about how you can subscribe and invite your friends to get a copy of the magazine.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Dominique. Yes, we have a few different ways that you can subscribe to Doors Ajar Literary Magazine, and I will put all of this in the chat in a second, or it's down below if we're in the future on YouTube. We have print / digital subscriptions. We have digital subscriptions, and we have gift subscriptions. For the digital, you get full access to our full digital archive for only $9.99, and they normally sell for $3.99. So it's right now it's up to $149 value for $9.99. So you can't really go wrong with that. For the print version, it's $39.99 plus shipping and handling, depending on where you are, because we do have US prices versus international prices. But you get the magazine mailed to you 4 times a year, and you get full access to the digital archive as well. So that's an amazing value, let's just say. I'm going to put the link to that in the chat right now and throw things back to Dominique.
And now we'll hear from Kristyn, Jacqueline, then Shannon. Kristyn, take it away.
Thank you. It's so good to be here tonight with y'all. I'm excited. I'm reading a prose poem from the current issue, and I think it might have been my first prose poem. So I was excited to see it with Doors Ajar. It's called Autobiography of a Painter. Here I am, an old woman in a floppy straw hat that ties under my chin, my bathing suit a flash of orange between the gentle waves over Foul Key. Far out above the Atlantic, I see a waterspout drawing the ocean up. But here, the water is shallow and warm enough to float these crooked bones that got me out of bed early this morning. Lying on my back, I am almost inert, though I cradle some water in my hands, then lift them up as though praying to the sky. My toes float from my feet, calves and thighs covered in water. My belly and shoulders and head dip in and out of sight. It's the resting back float, but I know I am swimming, a fish girl, frothy in the water, like in 1995. You wouldn't know this. You would see me cautiously orienting myself to the dive boat, close enough for a quick rescue if my faculties fail. You might even lean over the transom, white life ring at hand, watch me shimmy up the dive ladder, your face caught still with amazement. Thank you.
I'm Jacqueline Jules, and this poem is on page 29, and it's called Escalator Trust. It was inspired by the DC subway system. I take my place on the metal steps, descending over 200 feet down to the metro tunnel. It's rush hour, and a commuter stands on every stair. One cruel push, and 100 people could fall head first. Yet we stand, as we must, backs turned, trusting the person behind us. Thank you.
All right. I just want to let everyone know about some of our upcoming events. Our next big one is the Brooklyn Book Festival. That's going to be this Sunday at Borough Hall in Brooklyn. The event is from 10 to 6 p.m. It's a free event. It's open to the public. It's a wonderful experience. If you hadn't been there before, the weather is supposed to be very, very good. We're going to be at booth 345. So I'm very excited about that. And if any of you are in or around New York, please stop by. We have some more info about that on our website, and I am going to put that in the chat right now. All right, and I'm going to send things back over to Dominique.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I want to thank all the readers. What wonderful work and how well read. Bravo. And Max, same thing. Putting us all together, putting all these journals together for all these years. Well done, and best to everybody. I'm going to read a prose poem. It's called The Confidence, and it's in this issue. My grandmother once cared for an elderly man who years before had lost a leg. His daughter, unmarried and still living at home, was a bank officer, always in business dress. The man was mean to my grandmother and always smelled bad, no matter how many baths she gave him. He never used crutches, said it made him winded, giving orders from his wheelchair his preference. My grandmother complained of his cursing and cursory treatment of her and his daughter, but since recently widowed, with no skills but the domestic, she needed the job. The daughter was kind, though she worked long hours to keep the house in my grandmother's help. Some nights she got blue, my grandmother said, from her choice of father and work over 2 proposals of marriage. Yet despite their troubles, both women set their hearts to the care and comfort of this heartless old man, who one day confided to me, the only other male around, if only 6 years old, how he resented these dumb, weak, hysterical women. And when I burst, on behalf of my grandmother, into dumb, weak, hysterical tears, he barked a black, mocking laugh, which made his short, hanging pant leg, which my grandmother had pinned up, shake from the stump. When he finally died, both his daughter and my grandmother cried at his funeral, a development I made peace with by figuring that even the evil dead deserve some respect. But I wouldn't cry for him, or cry ever before anyone again. Until decades later, at my grandmother's funeral, I found myself purging him. Thank you.
Hi, this is so incredibly cool. This is the coolest thing that happened to me, I think, in a while. I didn't think this thing I wrote would go anywhere, so it's exciting that it did and that it's in this beautiful print issue and to be reading here. This is called Tell My Ex You In. You're trapped. The heart stomps as if 2 thumbs thrust on the throat rhythmically. This is almost cliche, so let's put it this way. A bulbous live animal clamors inside your chest with manifest destiny, covered in thorns, beats like a subwoofer within the cavity, each vibration a lurch with pricks into space that isn't. The reverb is in the gullet. It cannot be swallowed, only stuck, like rage in traffic. It's an eagle trying to fly and eat you alive. You feel trapped in the biggest airport in the world. You feel it as you walk down corridors and twists and turns with artificial lights like one surgical ward after the other. No life, just heavy fire doors, sealed, dark, visionless windows, the bottom of another Milky Way's lone ocean of plastic, metal, linoleum, periodic elements, escalators, electricity. A bloodless badland, a dystopian abandoned mall with only you, or you and maybe one slumpy off-duty human ahead. Welcome to Atlanta. You're traveling alone to Costa Rica. It's amazing, an Instagram filtery blessing. It's also a terrible. When you finally find outside, air floors the lung. Could you actually be free? You wait for a hotel shuttle as the hour picks up and on. There are none. Another driver for a different hotel takes pity, adopts you and a stranded older woman. But who is he dropping off first? And will you be alone with him? And what will you do then? The subwoofer pumps again. You once lived on the 52nd floor next to a room inhabited by 7 gamers who played at 4 a.m. with speakers, aliens that push sound into galaxies, movement, bas relief. A bad doctor, misdiagnosis, a baby that could only explode. Boom, you almost dead, others dead in you, beat. When you see your hotel oasis, you're first to go. Were you sorry for the woman you abandoned? Nope. Anxiety is a self-absorbed little whore, like you. The front desk informs that you're on floor 2, no stair access. Stairs only for emergency exit. Stairs that cannot get you in or out or up or down unless emergency. Stairs that stare nowhere. You're alone heading to a hotel room only accessible via elevator, which is a no. You're booked to avoid. It's late and you cannot process. The night, an inky mess. You slump into a furry chaise, probably from Wayfair or an estate sale, to panic. See above. See everywhere, see inside, see deleted scenes, see trauma, see history, see what happened, volumes 1, 2, and 3. You tell yourself what Buddhist Sylvia Boorstein said, which is that if other people can do this, so can you. The thing is, Sylvia Boorstein never saw Instagram. Algorithms. Never saw handstands at the edges of cliffs or base jumping, hot dog eating contests, etc. The world is full of people who can do stuff you could never do. The problem is Sylvia Boorstein is Sylvia Boorstein. The problem is you are you. Before you can blow your own speakers out, the woman says, I can take you up there if that would be better. She's a take no prisoners night shift, no time for this shit bitch, but it would-ish. You literally can't even, but you literally might. If the world ends, you want company. In the morning, what then? She asks, what time is your flight? It's early. She says, I'm here until 6. We can call you at 5:30 and grab you then. Could you actually be free? To anxiety mind, it's not quite good enough. Rational mind says there's a phone that you can call front desk that eventually you will get out of here. Rational mind plots Cartesian coordinates, time zones, Socratic method calendar entries, meal plans, root vegetables. The rational mind is doing a whole 30, no processed food. Anxiety mind says sealed windows, no stairs, no exit, no running away, screaming with mascara dripping eyes, busting out of the grid lines of rational like a joyless rave, spilling a neon slushie. Here's the thing. Each thing of worry on each leg of this journey could be no problem for rational-minded conventional Barbies. You know intellectually you will emerge from this room for the next wildfire, that you aren't Matt Damon marooned on Mars. But that's what you feel. Minus the science, the shit out of this. Minus the humor, the disco, the Minecrafted happy ending. You've done EMDR and cannabis and Huberman Lab, but anxiety mind scraps the rational mind story like soiled balls of kitty litter grit, nail clippings. Flush it. Anxiety mind is a parasite fungus driving the rat in the thermostat with only one primordial command, engulf. It's the last of us inside the frontal cortex minus Pedro Pascal dancing. Anxiety is the mind's fiction. The problem is you. You envy people at airports in wheelchairs rolled by helpers. You feel like screaming, you need help, but you don't. You scan physically capable. Normal. You're conventional Barbie, though not as pretty. Weird Barbie in the head, though not as funny. You're gurgled strange, the fossil network crossed. Somebody played with you too rough. Maybe God. Sleep is no calm. Submit. Say it. You are here to kneel where prayer has been valid. On your knees, hotel bathroom tile, penitent. Say it. Tell my ex, you win. You wanted alone and you got it. Wild. You were right. You left marriage for touch and sex and love and alone. You're trash. You can't do anything. A fallen star who can't blink or ride an elevator. Remember him, laughing as you did breathwork in one. You're the pathetic, the pathos pulpy with stresses chick, the overflowing toilet who demands we wait in a longer customs line because you have to pee so bad. You're claustrophobic, a selfish, narcissistic bitch, and a stupid spoiled brat, and whatever happened to you in this life is no excuse. What happened to you? Could you actually be free? What happened? Thank you.
Max, before I kick it back to you, just want to do some housekeeping to see if Shannon or Amy had joined us. I didn't see them, but I just wanted to be on the safe side and make sure. Shannon or Amy. Wonderful. All right. Max, back to you.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This was really so wonderful. Like, it's always great to hear everyone share their creativity just in their own words. It's such a unique experience. And just thank you so much for letting me publish your work in our humble little magazine here. 10 years going strong. Here's to another 10. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great night. All right, we did it.
Thank you for putting this together.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
It's really great, Max. Thanks so much.
It was
Thank
so lovely to hear
you.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, have a great night, everyone. I'm going to end the recording and shut this down. So, all right. Good night, everybody.
Bye now.
Take care.